Parental alienation can involve actually instilling false beliefs in their child. And these false beliefs are not just about their alienated parent, which is something that people might not realize. In a world where pathological parents can destroy their child's loving relationship with their other parent, survivors must fight to uncover the sinister lies behind this mind-bending form of abuse. Welcome to the Anti-Alienation Project, where I discuss parental alienation from the perspective of an adult child in the process of recovery and reunification. My name is Maddie, and today I'm going to be discussing all the different techniques that pathological parents use to alienate their children. Let's get started. Parental alienation is on a spectrum, from mild to severe. I've experienced severe parental alienation, but I can also imagine, and I have experienced more subtle alienation from other family members. Parental alienation can be, in a very, very, very mild case, subtly bad-mouthing or trash-talking your other parent. In more severe cases, such as my own, parental alienation is more than bad-mouthing. Parental alienation can involve actually instilling false beliefs in their child. And these false beliefs are not just about their alienated parent, which is something that people might not realize. Pathological parent will systematically program the child to form beliefs that are false about 4 different things. Number 1, they're going to brainwash their kid to have false beliefs about their alienated parent, about their good, quote unquote, good parent, about the world around them in which they live. And number 4, the parent is going to brainwash the kid to have false beliefs about themselves. And all these 4 aspects will show you, hopefully by the end of this video, why parental alienation is 100% child abuse. So number 1, the pathological parent is going to install false beliefs about the alienated parent, who is actually their loving parent. In my case, I was made to believe and told this over and over a period of 20 years. Number 1, that my dad doesn't love me. Also that he can't feel empathy, almost missing part of his soul. That my dad has narcissistic personality disorder. That my dad is a monster, is selfish, that he doesn't care about me, that he loves my other siblings more than me, that he was a BUSIVE in their marriage. False. So there are lies, there are smear campaigns, and then anytime the alienated parent makes a mistake, the alienator or parent blows it out of proportion and uses it as evidence for their false claims. This is not everything that the pathological parent might be telling the child. They might be telling them even more extreme things. Oh, another thing that I was told that I think a lot of kids are told is that their parent has left them, abandoned them, which is not true. It was not true for my case. There are a bunch of false beliefs that the parent gets the child to wholeheartedly stand for. And not only that, but the child, after a period of time, comes to think that they have made these beliefs themselves. They're their beliefs. They don't see them as their parents' beliefs. They see them as their beliefs. They don't question it. Number 2, the pathological parent is gonna brainwash the child into believing false things about the pathological parent. The pathological parent is going to say, I'm the only one who actually loves you. I'm the only one who's there for you. They will try to make it so that the child can only count on them. They want to destroy the loving bond and the trust between the child and their other parent, partially, I think, so that they can have them under their complete control. Partially, it's also to hurt the other parent. The child is used as a pawn, and their emotional well-being, their long-term developmental, psychological well-being is not considered. Number 3, the pathological parent is going to instill in them false beliefs about the world around them. This is going to be fear, a lot of fear, that they can't trust certain people in the family, that you can't trust people in general. And if the child, like I did, ever questions their parent, like, why do my brothers have a great relationship with my dad? Why can't they see all these things that we see, you know? Answer would always be that people who do respect and like my alienated parent, they're either stupid, ignorant or foolish. They just aren't perceptive enough to see the truth. Or he is such a good manipulator that he can put on an act and fool everyone. And the ironic thing about this is that it's a lot of projection. It's a lot of projection, because I think the pathological parent is like describing themselves a lot of the time when they go after the so-called bad parent. They're just making that parent seem exactly like they actually are, which is so confusing when you learn about the parental alienation, because you're like, oh my God. In my case, I'm wondering, did my pathological parent make the claim and get me to believe that my dad has a narcissistic personality disorder? Did she do that because she thinks she knows deep down that she has the narcissistic personality disorder? Possibly. So everything's projection. And the fourth and last thing is that the pathological parent is going to get into the child's brain and craft all of these different false beliefs, negative false beliefs in the child about themselves. Now, this number 4 has been the hardest part of this entire process, and I'm talking since I was 9 years old. So I love to read and write. I was always told by my pathological parent that one day I'm going to publish a best-selling book called The Hole in My Heart about why my dad doesn't love me. And this made me feel weird. I never really liked that. I thought it was corny or stupid. I really didn't like when they would say that. And now I realize that these messages about me having a hole in my heart, for whatever reason, my brothers, they could be loved by my dad, but he didn't love me, there's something about me. The messages that I got every day were that I'm flawed, something broken. And then also there'd be all these snide comments, or even, comments that seemed like they were in good faith at the time. Like, I feel so bad that I gave you such a dad that doesn't love you. I feel so bad. Or I wish that your dad cared about you more. So there's just this constant reinforcement of the feeling to the child that they're unworthy of love. And there's definitely constant encouragement of fear within the child. Anger towards their parent. Many times this might come from accusations they've been told that are not true. You can only imagine the psychological harm that this does to children. The courts might get involved, hopefully they do, or therapists might get involved, and the child might be going to therapy appointments. Like, I was brought to therapy at age 9 and never really allowed to leave. They might be even put on medication for depression or anxiety, because how could you not have a depression and anxiety? It's terrible. So the child being lugged to these therapy appointments and put on medications, and obviously they're feeling very different inside about themselves and the world and their parents than most other children who are having a healthy time in their family. So there's a lot of feeling alienated from the world, from your peers, a loss of childhood and innocence, so that you come to believe that you're mentally ill. You're not really mentally ill. It's what's being done to you has these effects that show up like anxiety and like depression, but what it really is most of the time is abuse. So all of this creates a false reality. This false reality not only hurts the alienated parent, but it also destroys the parent-child bond in order to isolate the child. In this way, the pathological parent makes their child completely dependent on them. This ongoing brainwashing and manipulation, it just shows that the pathological parent has zero regard for their child. With all of these videos that I'm making, I want to end on a note that gives you some hope. And I want to include challenges. I want to start doing that. So my message of hope for this video is going to be for the adult children who are in the process of recovering from parental alienation or reuniting with their parent. When you discover parental alienation has been part of your story, that's not the end of your story. That's maybe the middle of your story. There's life after the discovery that you are an adult child survivor of parental alienation. you have your voice now. You have the truth now. There will be moments of pain, maybe even extreme pain, sadness, and disbelief. But now you have the truth on your side, which you haven't had until now. I would encourage you to use your voice. My challenge for the week, for myself and for anyone watching who wants to do this challenge with me, is when you catch yourself holding back from your parent that you're trying to reunite with, challenge it. And that can mean telling yourself, catching yourself being like, no, that's not what I believe. That's what I've been made to believe. A lot of the times it's hard for me to be myself around my alienated parent because I never showed them who I actually was. I was never letting them in. Why would I? I mean, I thought they didn't love me. So it's a challenge for me to be my true self in front of them. So that's kind of where this challenge is coming from. I'm going to make an effort to tell them I love them and make an effort to call them first and do things that might be scary. So comment below what you think about this, about what your thoughts are on this video, and whether or not you're going to do the challenge and how you're going to do the challenge. So that brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you for joining me while I discuss these topics. I hope that this video was beneficial to you, and as always, thanks for listening to the Anti-Alienation Project.